Hello everyone and welcome to Adventure Evolve. So today we're going to be making a survival or outdoor stove out of tin cans, and it's pretty simple. You can make it from items readily available in your home. All you gotta do is probably buy some spirit, which is gonna act as fuel. And this is a rough version I made earlier. It's not really pretty, but it works, and it's a pretty interesting project. So let's get started. So for the items that you're gonna need, first of all, 2 tin cans. I'm using a 7-Up and Pepsi tin cans. You're gonna need some cotton, as it stores the spirit inside. You're gonna need some tape, and you're gonna need some probably super glue. I'm gonna be using this. That's how it's available in Pakistan. It's a strong binding material. You're gonna need some matches, of course, to light it all up. You're going to need a coin, which you're gonna use later to put over here. It actually improves the flame. You're gonna need some knife and a scissor to cut the cans, and you're gonna need a scale and a marker to mark the holes that you're gonna drill using a drill machine, which I have over here. And of course, at the end we're just left with fuel. I have this spirit over here, which we'll add at the end. So let's get started now. Alright, so for the cans we're gonna use their bottom parts. We're gonna drill holes in one, and the other one is going to be used as a base. So I'm just gonna roughly start cutting the can from over here. I'll be using my knife. So we've cut the can, and as you can see, it's not very pretty, of course. So now I'm going to use the knife to make the edges nice and even. I'm going to compare the sides. This one still looks a bit uneven, so I'm going to trim it out. And yep, looks better. Be careful not to cut your hands. You should probably use safety like gloves. And yep, so one part is done. Now I'm gonna repeat the same process with the other can, although I'm gonna start a bit up, so if I need to shave off, I can shave it off later, but I can't add, of course. So and I use a knife because it's much faster. If you use a scissor, it's gonna be much more tough to cut the initial cuts. So yeah, this looks pretty much even as well. So we have two of these, and they're gonna go into each other, and that's how you're gonna make a stove. And one side will have the holes. And the reason you don't keep the stove too big is because basically the vapors, when you heat up, they travel upwards, and the more distance they cover, the tougher it's going to be for the vapors to come out with pressure. So that's why you have to make this stove a little bit small, not too big, as the previous one I'll make, so you can compare the sizes. So I'm going to shave it off from over here, and also don't shave off too much because this has to go inside from as well. Okay, so I might just leave it like this right now. So now that we're done cutting our cans, I'm going to start marking where I'm gonna drill the hole. So I'll use a pencil because it's straight. I'm gonna mark with a permanent marker a few lines. Okay, and 90 degrees to this, and in between them. Alright, and we have our marks, and roughly now I'm gonna mark with my hand in between them. I mean, of course you can be precise with this and be more and make it more appealing to look, more aesthetic, more uniform. And okay, so that's the number of holes we're going to drill into the tin can's bottom. And over here we're gonna be making a drill in the center, about a centimeter, like this. Okay, and now I'm gonna take the drill machine and we're gonna start drilling. So yes, now our stove, you could say, is ready. Alright, now we're gonna attach these two together, see if they fit. I'm gonna give a little nick over here, and that's gonna help me push it down, hopefully, inserting it into this. Because of course when they're manufactured they're pretty equal, so it's a bit hard to get one tin inside the other. So I'm gonna have to increase the nick that I gave over here a little bit more, probably at a bit more oblique angle. Okay, hopefully now it goes in. Yeah, see, that worked. I'm gonna give it a little press, and yeah, see, that's how our neat stove is going to be prepared. Now I'm gonna take it off, therefore, just to stretch the upper tin so that it can accommodate this one later on, after we add the adhesive inside and outside. So let's get started with that. So now that I have my adhesive mixed and ready, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna take the cotton I'm gonna add it inside over here. It's going to basically store all that spirit we're going to add later on, help with burning of it, because it's not just it's going to have basically increase the surface area from which hopefully it will evaporate. So after I've added that, I'm going to take the adhesive, I'm going to add it on the sides. Hope you can see it more clearly. So I'm going to add it along the sides like so. And it's going to stick the two cans perfectly tightly together. Why we want to do this is because sometimes there's a risk of a little mini explosion, because air inside the can and the vapor inside the can ignite, and we obviously don't want that. So we want this adhesive to tightly bind both of the cans together. So we're almost done applying the adhesive on the sides, and I hope this adhesive stays in that way the end product they're gonna make, our project, it's gonna look a lot cleaner as compared to the previous one I showed you earlier. Of course you can get better stoves online and they're probably more expensive, but the thing with making this is it's pretty fun process to make. It's cheap, and of course you're gonna enjoy making stuff out of it because you made it yourself. So now that this is done, I'm gonna attach two of these together. Okay, there they go. And yep, just this part left, and yep, there we go. So it's the nick's giving a bit of a dent inside, so we're gonna fill it later. Alright, so I'm gonna fill this gap up with this binding material that I have, and we're gonna let it rest for like an hour so that it binds together, and then we're going to start off the next process of turning it on basically. Well, now that we have let the adhesive set in for a few minutes, I'm gonna go ahead, take a tape, and I'm gonna attach it to along the border where we attached the two tins together. Just going to make it look a lot cleaner, as well as add an extra layer of protection. Yep, there we go. So yeah, that looks pretty nice, pretty neat. Alright, we're gonna let it rest for a further 30 minutes, and then we'll start adding the fuel and light it up. Alright, so now that we've let it the adhesive cure for a little while, I'm gonna go ahead, add the spirit, basically the fuel. You can see how the natural shape of the tin's bottom is like a container cup, helps store all that spirit till it's absorbed from those holes at the bottom. And I think that's about a little bit more, I guess. Yep, that seems just about enough. I'm going to go ahead and clean it a little bit. So now that our can is filled, the way to start it is, first of all, we have to heat up the can from the bottom. So I'm gonna use a match. You can use a lighter that you have and this is gonna take a little while. Heat the can for like a minute or two. I'm gonna do that and then I'm gonna get back to you guys. Okay, so I have preheated my tin stove. I'm gonna light it up now. And now that it's on, I'm gonna put the coin at the center. This is going to improve the airflow. And as you can see, as it starts to heat up, it starts to form more vapor, which is going to increase the flow upwards, and it's going to increase the flame. And yes, your tin camping outdoor DIY stove is ready, and you can use it for cooking, heating, etc. And it's also a very pleasurable activity to see. So I hope it was an informative, enjoyable video. Have a nice day. Bye bye.